Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum.
Where our entertainment is our comfort food.
And this is episode 44. It is the coffee service for our 12th month.
Yes. Yep. I think we might have misfired on the last one, but we got it updated now.
We figured, yeah, that let me know that I needed to update this episode number.
But this is usually our last portion of our monthly series.
Mm-hmm.
And this series focused on the film Mystery Men.
Yep.
Which was one of your picks.
It was.
And Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria movie with definitely a, not a spoof, but a, what's the right word? A parody of superhero stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I can never think of the word parody. I've got a mental block on that for some reason. But we covered that in that was our main course, and we just finished our desserts, which were what we were looking forward to, some trailers and stuff like that.
Some trailers that came out in the past month or so that we thought looked interesting.
And we were on to coffee service, which is usually kind of a broader discussion tied to the main course.
Right.
Pretty easy to do on this one with Mystery Men being a parody of superhero films to kind of go into, how did you title this one?
Unconventional superhero films.
Yeah.
And by conventional, pretty much what we're meaning is like conventional would be MCU or DC universe.
Yeah.
So something that is not like a mainstream. If you were thinking of it in like the terms of comics, it's like an indie comic book movie, that sort of thing.
I think I'd originally thought about even like throwing like Watchmen into this, but it's actually kind of its own thing too. It's
well, technically it's DC. Technically,
yeah. And I was kind of thinking it was a little bit too close to like DC and Marvel stuff to really kind of get included into this. We wanted to stay on the fringes of stuff like Mystery Men,
and we usually do fortune cookies to choose our next topic.
Yes,
and that's one of the things. Mystery Men is in those fortune cookies. Well, now something else now.
Yeah,
but that's one of the main topics that we might talk about later on. So
yeah. And
definitely deep dive.
We always try to combine what we're doing with some sort of food that relates to the course or something like that if we can. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always get. Yeah. And,
well, like when we did Event Horizon, I made like a black ramen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cthulhu themed.
Cthulhu, like little squid things.
Yeah. It was black ramen. It was black ramen noodles with calamari.
Yeah.
Not unfried calamari, the fresh calamari.
When we get to this point, the coffee service is a little bit easier. We just go get some coffee. But did actually have something to actually introduce on that this time, because most of the time we're just drinking just big old can of Folgers.
Right.
But because I do the con circuit and stuff, we do get around and see different shows. And I think I encountered this in Atlanta at whichever con that was. Can't say I exactly remember which one that one was. I think it was an anime week in Atlanta. Is it AWA? I think it was what they call it, something like that. Really cool dude. Had a huge display of stuff. Obviously caught my eye. Went to go look. It was all just coffee bags. And that is, what were we just saying it was?
This is called
the Merlin's.
Yeah, that's the
Merlin's
company.
Munchie Coffee Company.
Yeah, Merlin's Munchies, plural, coffee company.
Lots of different flavors, lots of things kind of based on nerd stuff. Probably a lot of D&D based type things. And the one that I picked up 3. The one I have in my hand is Pecan Pie in the Sky. It's got a little wizard in a convertible driving towards, looks like a black hole with a pecan pie. It says Pecan Pie Portal. So picked up, I think he had a 3 for deal. That's why I ended up with 3 of these. Got a caramel apple cheesecake supernova. So I have no idea what that will be. But nice thing about these little pouches is they've got those little vents, and you could pick them up and squeeze them and smell them. Yeah. So I stood there at that booth smelling bags of coffee for probably 20 minutes. And then the one we did today was the three-headed dragon.
Three-headed dragon blend. Yeah.
And it was basically some mix of a light, a medium, and a dark roast. And he said it was very popular among pretty much everybody because it was a really smooth kind of blend. And
well, it says this light roast has a very unique flavor and contains the most caffeine. The medium roast brings sweetness, the dark finishes of the cup of Excuse me. And the dark finishes the cup off with a bold aroma. So I guess they mix light and dark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They said it was one of the more popular ones, and so far it seems pretty good. It's pretty smooth.
Well, if it brings the most caffeine, we might be bouncing a little bit by the end of this.
Might need to get more of that next time I have a chance.
Right.
But they do have a website.
Yeah, you can go online.
Check them out. Merlin's
Tell
Munchie.
you what, if I remember to do it, I'll just put it in the description. If I remember to do it.
Throw it into the link there. I think he said something about they have an Instagram, and
Okay, cool.
if we can link our stuff to his, we'll try to figure that out too.
As much as I want to resist doing that, that's probably something we should do.
See if we can co-op with other
Well, not even
people.
that. Just have an Instagram.
Yeah. Another social media.
Not even that. Yet another social media.
Let's talk about something to really get me excited. To give me a lot more caffeine to get me.
Well, I've looked into what it would take to upload to other sites and stuff, and it's literally one of two options. One, just manually do it. Just upload to different. If you wanted to upload to Rumble, or you wanted to upload to Apple Podcasts, you just create an account and upload to them.
Yeah.
Or you pay for a service and they'll do it for you.
They'll do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not now.
We need a few
more people listening to us.
about 900 more followers, maybe.
Yeah.
Get us to a little monetization. We might think about something like that.
Is that what it is? That what it is?
Is that 1,000?
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I think it's that combined with the certain amount of views or
Sure.
something. I don't know. Which is probably come back to what we were talking about before, that we might see if we can start doing some clipping some previous things and putting shorts out there, because
Yeah, the short, because we try to figure out how, if we want to get a larger audience, how we do that. And apparently it's the shorts. Right now, that's the algorithm. You got to get some shorts out there.
yeah, and we have none.
But I played around with the idea at one point of doing recording additional little shorts.
Yeah.
And a lot of that would be hey Joel, look at this cool thing I found. That pretty much would be what that is. And I could do that because I'm frequently sending you pictures. I'll be at a comic store, hey, look at this weird Godzilla thing.
We have it on our website now. One of the cool things where you're send me a picture of this card. It's hey, is this cool, or does this have any value or something?
Oh, yeah.
It was a card from a White Schwartz set, the Nikkei set.
Yeah.
I looked it up and it was oh my lord! It was do you have any sleeves there? It was one of the voice actors signed. I guess they have a printing of their signature that they put on a card, and it's one of however many boxes of it they put these things in. So you pulled that just randomly at a local store.
Yeah.
That was one of those. Get that in a sleeve. And
Well, it's definitely protected at this point. You've got it.
We've got it on the website, and there's people that we've got it on there. I think the lowest price on there, because you were just just sell the thing.
Yeah, it's when it comes to that kind of stuff. I bought the pack for $7, so if I make more than $7 off of it, I'm hey, I got a profit.
Yeah. I think the market on that card right now is something or when I looked at it this past weekend, was $960. And it's that's crazy.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not the type to kind of go after that sort of thing. The one time I really sold something to try to make I'm going to make as much money as I can off of this thing, was one of the Kickstarters for the Friday the 13th video game, which is defunct at this point.
Yeah.
And the guy who designed... No, wait. I'm trying to think of who it is. But anyway, there was a special skin that you got for Jason. And it was Jason was made of lava or something. And it was a cool looking skin. But I saw that it was going on eBay for $400 or $500. I'm for a video game skin? And so I put it up on eBay, and I started the bid at $10 and just let it go. I made $400 on that thing. It was great.
That was awesome.
I was so happy.
That was for that was a virtual coin, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's let me ship it to you.
It's shipped. Email. Yep, you got it. I assume the person who bought it was a streamer or something, because that's the only thing I could think of why I would ever pay for something like that, is if I felt as if that could lead me to more profit.
Better he was just sitting there at his desk in his Friday the 13th setup.
Right.
Just really, really into it.
Well, we are going to be talking about unconventional superhero films.
Yes.
And the first one I brought is Darkman.
It's been a while.
Darkman, yeah. Now, we're going to just talk about Darkman as a property in the first film. There are other Darkman films. I haven't seen them.
I think there were things even back when we still had Videovision and Blockbuster.
Mhm.
I remember seeing sequels to that in the video store, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. It's kind of one of those movies that God, when did that come out?
1990.
So I was maybe a freshman in high school, I guess, when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't definitely not like big into movies at that point, just because it wasn't an option.
Right.
Our access to movies were whatever we could just go rent at the local place on like Fridays. And I remember that was like one of those things that had that different kind of film style that was definitely foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a couple times of watching that to kind of really like that movie more, where they did like things that were like accelerating the scene, and doing all this kind of flashy psychedelic type stuff,
Right.
in the background. So
Well, it is a Sam Raimi film.
I don't think I knew that.
Yep. And when I became a fan of Darkman, and when I saw Darkman in the early 90s, I'm pretty sure I saw Darkman before the Evil Dead films, and I didn't know they were associated.
Yeah.
When I did finally find out that Darkman was a Sam Raimi production, I was like, oh, that's so wonderful. Because at that point, I was a big fan of Evil Dead.
It makes sense with the way some of the things were like, basically like you could tell it was filmed that was just fast forwarded in the
Right.
background to
Yeah.
make that sort of psychedelic effect. That was go back to the Evil Dead stuff where they're zooming along the forest floor and
Mhm.
they kind of speeding that up and stuff. That came from him. That makes sense.
Apparently, Sam Raimi wanted to do either The Shadow or Batman, and he was unable to secure those rights, and this is what came of that. He wanted to make a superhero film, so he made his own.
And this came from a comic, right?
No,
No.
the opposite.
Oh.
There was a Darkman comic series after this.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a completely 100% its own thing.
It came off to me when I watched it. I was like, there must have been more of the story in the book. Was I think what the
Oh,
thought I
right.
had. but yeah.
Yeah, but apparently there are 2 sequels. Darkman 2, The Return of Durant, and Darkman 3, Darkman Die. That is a horrible title. Darkman 3, oh goodness, horrible title.
That's that's somebody that was involved in the process that didn't want to be involved in it anymore.
Yeah. So let's see.
Release me from my contract.
There was a video game? Oh, for the Commodore 64. Yeah, okay. I can see that.
Well,
So the basic premise of Darkman is, and it has a Liam Neeson. This was the first film I remember seeing Liam Neeson in,
I'm certain that's the first thing I saw him in as well.
and I think he did such a great job in this film. Like even watching it today, like you knew this guy was going to be something. You were like, this guy's great. He did a wonderful job in this film. He plays Peyton, and I remember loving that name too. Peyton is such a unique name. He's a scientist, and he is the boyfriend of Julie. She's an attorney, and played by Frances McDormand. And
That's what I was sitting there looking,
have my little notes here.
just looking at your notes. I was like, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was Frances McDormand until I was writing this up. I was like, oh, Fargo.
Yeah.
That's great.
Raising Arizona.
Yeah, yeah.
Get that diaper off your sister's head and put it back on.
And so anyway, Julie is an attorney for, what's his name? Louis Strack. Sorry, Louis Strack. And he's a real estate developer, and he wants to make this huge, complex of buildings, and he wants to make his own little downtown kind of thing. And he's been bribing, zoning commissioners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She finds out about this, that he's been bribing politicians. And she's an upstanding woman, and she's like, I've got to tell somebody about this. Well, because of that, they want to shut her up. So Strack's henchman really is Durant. And so Durant and his goons go to Peyton and rough him up, and they try to kill him, essentially. I don't know if their intention was to kill him, because if I remember correctly, when they were busting up his science lab, they were just busting everything up, and that caused an explosion.
Yeah.
And they left him to die. No. That's right.
He launches through the sky.
He
like
did
on
launch
fire.
They
like a
leave him
flaming
to
rocket.
die, and they have that little bird. Tick, 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 tick. So they do intend to kill him.
Yeah.
Because that little bird hits the lighter and explosion. That was a great
The
scene.
little water dipping bird.
And you see his body just launched,
Oh.
screaming.
I think it was just like a Scud missile flying through the.
But anyway, they think he's dead, and he washes up on the shore, and he's a John Doe. And in order to make sure he doesn't die, they severed all of his nerves. And so the idea is he can't feel anything in his body, and because of all the drugs and stuff they put him on, and because of the adrenaline, that severing that they did something to his adrenal gland. So he's pretty much a superhuman at this point. He's got superhuman strength, and he can't feel any pain.
But he was like a doctor working on prosthetic cells.
Right, fake skin.
Fake skin,
Yep.
yeah.
And the whole shtick with that is he's made fake human skin, but it only lasts 99 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And the whole story is just about him trying to get back at Durant and Strack, getting his revenge,
Yeah.
and trying to also get back to Julie at one point. And what he does is he can make a face of anybody, and he wears it as a mask because he can make fake skin. And he can only be out for 99 minutes because at 99 minutes the skin bubbles and starts to deteriorate.
The cells just break down.
Yeah.
And it just runs off.
Really good, kind of body horror.
Yeah.
Really good effects. I really enjoyed it. And like you're saying, it seems like a comic book character because that's what Sam Raimi was going after.
I always assumed that it was based off of one.
Yeah.
You go back to the early Batman movies, the Jack Nicholson one, and when they tried to do the Spencer Tracy stuff before, or the Dick Tracy, not Spencer Tracy, those films, and how kind of ridiculously over the top comical they were. I thought this was just somebody trying to make a more mature version of that, but
I think he was inspired by that because he's of that age where that was kind of he was into the pulp and stuff like that. You can tell that.
Yeah, pulp's the right way to describe those things.
And I'm showing Joel an image of the comic book. I think this comic book might be one of the first comic books I bought for myself, because I bought this before I got into the Ninja Turtle comic books and stuff. And I bought it just because it looked gruesome.
I will say, pretty violent comic for back then.
Oh yeah. But they have had, because there's been a lot of different Army of Darkness comic series over the past 20 years at this point, and they did have a Darkman versus Army of Darkness comic. It was pretty good.
Frances McDormand is married to one of the Coen brothers, right?
Really? That's why she's in all their movies.
Yeah, I don't know which one begets the other, but she's married to Joel Coen.
I kind of like that story, that Hollywood story of there's a director or a writer and there's an actress or an actor, and
they were married in 1984.
Oh,
so, I mean, it was
that was before all of it.
I think it was kind of before they seemed like they got married, and then their career kind of went along with us. Trying to see if Raising Arizona was before or after that. That's my first Coen Brothers movie.
Well, Blood Simple was in 1984. 1987 was Raising Arizona.
Okay.
So after.
They were already.
Well, that's cool. Good on them. They're still married?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got a child, looks like.
What? The Hudsucker Proxy was written by Sam Raimi. Written with Sam Raimi.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Have to go back and see how many Sam Raimi things cross paths with the Coens.
Yeah. A lot, probably.
We were sitting there before we came back down to start shooting this, talking about some more topics to add into our pool of things, and sometimes those kind of topics are maybe too broad, but Coen Brothers movies it's a huge category.
Yeah.
I still haven't even seen all of them.
Well, I still think to do that, maybe, I tell you what my favorite one is, and you say what your favorite one is, and
you have to just narrow it, because if not,
yeah,
it'd be 2 months worth of things to go through the movies. But I'm sitting here now just trying to think as I'll enter myself into a 20-minute debate in my mind about what my favorite one of their movies is if I start to go down that road right now, and I still won't ever get to a conclusion because how do you compare Raising Arizona with Big Lebowski with
Right.
Miller's Crossing? They're so different. But
That's definitely I'll say a genre I need to watch more of because I've only seen a few of their films.
I like to think that I've been through most of them, but I look at that list and know that I've missed probably the front end of that is probably where I've missed. I
Yeah, like
know
Miller's Crossing. I've never even heard of that. Barton Fink?
Miller's Crossing's over there. Best gangster movie
Oh, okay.
best gangster movie of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's high praise.
Yes. No, it's
Intolerable Cruelty. I've seen that, yeah.
I haven't seen that. Haven't seen The Blood Simple, and I think I haven't seen The Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some of those early ones are ones I can
Yeah.
never find on like a service, and I
Right.
need to. They're probably on here's 4 movies on a DVD somewhere for $5. I just need to find it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is where I would like to see like physical media go. Is like, well, here's the Coen Brothers '90s films, and it's like a collection.
Yeah. I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
And so you could do the '90s, Coen Brothers 2000s, and at this point, the 2010s. Time goes. They only did 4 movies. 4 movies into the 2010s.
I think I've mentioned that before, and I always have trouble remembering the name. The Inside Llewellyn Davis,
Mm-hmm.
guy from Dune and from the Star Wars stuff. What's his name?
Actor Oscar
yeah.
Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Still one of my favorite movies of his. And it really is a movie about nothing. It's just a movie in that world of folk singers and the probably late 50s, early 60s. The way they do characters is what always just draws me in. And that's just like The Big Lebowski. It's just a character movie. It's doesn't really matter where the story goes. It's just you're just enjoying these characters doing their thing. And
In 2006, they were part of an anthology film called Paris Je t'aime?
Je t'aime.
Je t'aime? Okay. And it says it's a
Paris, I love you.
2-hour film, consists of 18 short films by 22 directors. I guess a couple of directors, like the Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But I have not seen. Gosh, it's probably been at least a decade since I've seen Darkman, and I need to. Do you have that on any of your stuff? Do you have?
I don't think I have it digitally.
Okay.
I just have it on DVD.
I can probably find a DVD of that one somewhere for $5.
I'm sure.
Maybe on a collection with some other stuff that I need to get a copy of.
At this point, I think I'd like to at least watch the other 2. Or to watch Darkman.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to see the other 2. You get into those sequels that go low budget and stuff. What's the really you said the name of the character there a second ago. Let me find him.
Durant.
The Durant guy.
Yeah, he's one of those actors like you know him.
Just a really good, I think they had him back for. Did he come back for a sequel or did he?
He was in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know that.
It seemed like I remember seeing something about that second one, and that seemed like that's what they were pushing was that he was in it.
Mm.
And Dr. Giggles.
Oh.
I remember that came out not very long after Darkman. I guess that was that guy's sort of foray into fame with
Yeah.
a little series of weird horror movies.
All right. You want to go to the next one?
Sure.
Incredibles.
This was not really what I was thinking I would throw in to non-typical horror or superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we've been traveling a lot lately with shows, and this was on, and honestly, it was kind of out of mind. Watched it again, and was just reminded of how ridiculously good that movie was.
For the longest time, a lot of the fans were like, "This is the perfect Fantastic Four film."
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. I think it's still the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. And it wasn't Fantastic Four, but it's better than all the other attempts have been. But Incredibles was 2004, and like I said, we watched it with our son when he was, preschool age, and then got it back out and watched it with our daughter when she was ready to watch those kind of films too. So we kind of grew up with us. And I think it's because it was so long ago and kind of part of that era. I just don't really ever think of it as like that's a superhero film. But I mean, if you go back and watch it again, it's probably the best written American animation movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, the story in that is just so good.
There was a minute when both writing and I would say the style of animation, you could put Pixar up against anything. I think they were doing the best stuff in the world.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing of they're superheroes and then they get sued for doing their job.
Right.
Have to go into hiding, and then he comes back and just lives secretly as an insurance agent, but even there he's trying to help people figure out how to get their claims. So he's always undermining the insurance company, and Wallace Shawn is he's voicing the little insurance guy, that's always in there yelling at him. He's like 2 feet tall next to this massive Mr. Incredible. That's Craig. Gosh, what is his name from Poltergeist?
No idea.
And Coach. He was the main guy in the Coach series.
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson was Mr. Incredible. And yeah, because I think that's the sort of impetus that starts the whole next wave of that movie is that he's watching a burglary happen, and I think he sneaks out at night to try to thwart crime with Frozone, which is Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
They're watching a burglary happen while he's getting eaten out by this boss, and the people get away, and he just like throws the boss through like 5 walls and gets fired, of course.
Shoot out.
Yeah. Oh.
How many incredible films have there been?
Just the 2.
Just the 2? That surprises me.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, of course, being the age I am, almost anything that was released in the early to mid 2000s, you tell me, hey, that was released in 2004, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2004. That's crazy.
The Syndrome character in that is maybe one of the best bad guys in a kids movie I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he goes from being like the little scorn. He's the reason that everything goes bad and people get sued at the beginning is because he's trying to help and be Mr. Incredible's sidekick, and he gets in the way and lets a guy get away. The guy blows up the bridge on the train, and he has to stop the train from crashing. But everybody on the train hurts him or gets hurt, and then sues him for getting hurt. And then,
there was that one scene in it where the mom tells the 2 kids, be like, these people will kill you.
Yeah.
And that's one of like the most grounded scenes in like any superhero film, because it's in a cartoon.
And he grows up to be this guy that's developing all this technology, and you find out like later in the movie that he's been luring all the other superheroes that were retired to help him, quote unquote, test the stuff out, and he's been killing them. And it's like, wow, that's dark.
Yeah.
I think he goes and finds the basic, what is it, Gazer Beam? The guy that's supposed to be like Cyclops. Like when he's on the island, he goes to he falls down into like a cave or something, and he finds like the skeleton of Gazer Beam just back in there, I guess, where I think he basically crawled in there after he got hurt by one of the robots and died. And I was like, wow, that's heavy for a Pixar movie. And the way they mix that story in with like them raising the kids and having a teenage daughter that was shy and having a little Dash that wanted to play in sports and wanted to just really excited kid, and I've always having to calm him down and make sure he never showed anybody their powers, and just showing all those parts of their lives. Like I said, that all comes around to them kind of getting to the island separately and then becoming a team and starting to work together. It was like it's just such a good movie, man. I like I said, I hadn't really thought about even including any kind of cartoons into the whole topic for today, but it really is probably one of the best. People talk about best superhero movies. I don't think this ever gets thrown in with it, and I think it has to be in that discussion because it's such a better story. And
well, like a lot of superhero films and like science fiction films, like it's not. Yes, there are superheroes in it, but it's like it's about the family and the family dynamics, and That's what holds the film together.
The whole Pixar thing at the time, from then up until maybe Up, where they were just hitting you with all these movies that were just kind of crazy, well written stories and a mix of comedy with a lot of like really dramatic things and really heart touching things. I think Up is probably pretty close to being as good a movie as The Incredibles, but I think it was a more of a blatant attempt to just make all of the parents cry in front of their children, because you get into Up and like 10 minutes into it, you're like, man, what are we watching? But
I don't remember. I'm not remembering the story 100% correctly, but I remember hearing something about how like after like A Bug's Life or maybe Monsters Inc. or something, they sat down and they said, okay, well let's figure out, or maybe it was after Toy Story, let's figure out some films, some ideas, and they kind of like brainstormed all these ideas, and they eventually took the ideas they brainstormed that they like, and they made all these movies. And I know The Incredibles was a part of that.
Yeah,
I think it went up through Wall-E. And it's kind of interesting because if you, I remember when I heard the story, it's like after is like that initial what?
I always forget about Wall-E.
Yeah. After that initial brainstorm, after they finish those movies, it's like, well, what do we do now? And that's kind of when they started to fall off, which is interesting.
Should have just gone and swam in their swimming pool full of cash.
Right.
I think The Incredibles. I don't even know how they put these, how they even calculate these numbers at this point, because it said it made $631 million worldwide against a
2004.
Yeah, against the $92 million budget, and that doesn't even come into.
So it cost them to make as much. They cost them as much to make this as it cost to make Mystery Men.
Yeah, yeah. But what you get with like something like this that you don't get with like Mystery Men or even any other kind of movie that's not backed like this is we were going through McDonald's to get all the Incredibles toys out of Happy Meals because they had these pretty nice, substantial figures that were part of Happy Meals when this movie came out. So I was eating McDonald's garbage for like months trying to get all of those, and I think we were missing the Elastigirl, and I finally was like, do y'all have Elastigirl? Can you just give me the daggone Elastigirl? And like, yeah, you can just buy it for like $2. Like, you can just buy Happy Meal toys. I wish I'd known that like 7 freaking double quarter pounders ago. But that stuff, kids had pajamas and sheets and just all the extra stuff that comes with all that.
Merchandising.
The $631 million probably isn't a drop in the bucket into what was generated by that movie.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just with toys and lunchboxes and all that kind of stuff. And still today, I mean, you'll still see people with brand new stuff, so it's still being sold. It still has.
I remember back in like 2015, 2016 time frame, they made that Disney Infinity video game series.
Yeah.
And you would buy little characters, and then you would put them on the base, and then the characters would show up in the game.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things they had was an Incredibles
was that
playset.
Is that the Amiibo, or is that something different?
It's very much like Amiibo.
Okay. It was
like Disney's own thing.
I gotcha. Yeah.
And I miss it. I like those little characters.
I see people selling like the Amiibo things as, sealed collectibles now, of course.
Yeah.
But I see them at shows all the time.
I have some Amiibos. They are not sealed. Like I told you recently when I showed you the Lego set. Toys are meant to be played with.
Oh, you said that because I was like, you showed me you were getting that. I was like, are you getting that to put together, or is it stay in the box? And you're like, no, toys were meant to be played with.
Yeah, I don't really play with like action figures and stuff, but I open it up and I display it.
Yeah.
My uncle, growing up, my uncle collected like NASCAR, like Matchbox cars.
Yeah. And
he kept them all in their containers, all in the blister packaging, and he had them like up on his wall. And I thought it was a cool collection, but I was upset as a young kid. I was like, why can't I play with them?
It's because right now that one car is probably worth $485.
Yeah. Yep.
Or anything Dale Earnhardt or anybody that died.
Oh, goodness.
Those are probably 400's probably just a drop in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's a good film though.
Didn't need to dwell on Incredibles. That was just sort of the timing of us talking about this and watching Mystery Men and all that, and then that just happened to be on in a hotel, and I really had not seen that for easily a decade, if not longer, probably closer to 15 years.
It's been a while
seen
since
it.
I've actually sat down and watched it. Most
Yeah.
of these films, it's been a while since I've sat down and watched them.
Yeah, yeah. We watched them with the kids, and then kind of. I think I have a copy of it over there somewhere that's kind of down in a little kids section at the bottom of our DVD case. Of, I guess they're just now waiting for grandchildren to come around, or for somebody to be like, "Hey, you want to get that out and watch it? We haven't seen that in 20 years." Like, yeah, sure. But yeah, don't write that one off as as just
Just
a
as a kid's
kids
movie?
cartoon. It's 100% like a something to people my age or older could just sit down and be like, wow, that's a really good movie.
That would be a good topic if we ever wanted. We've talked about like the idea of doing tier lists or lists and stuff like that, but a good list would be American animation that's appropriate for adults.
Yeah.
You know, because there are something like this. Yeah, that's good enough. But like, I don't know if I would say Toy Story is. As an adult, you can enjoy it, sure, but it's for kids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. The next movie I brought is Spawn. So I know you've seen this.
I've seen it, and
Long
it's one of those
time
things
ago.
I have not ever come back to because it didn't sit with me right when I first saw it.
Mhm.
And
It didn't sit right with a lot of people.
I can't really say if I remember what it was I didn't like about it. I just remember it was like
The CG cape. You did not like the CG cape.
It could be.
Everyone hated the CG cape.
I think I thought it was going to be a lot more of an action thing, and it seemed like there was a lot of just him talking to a clown. And,
Right.
And I don't remember if that's a very accurate memory of it or what. That's what's in my head when I think about this movie.
Right.
It's like conversations with a clown.
Well, Al Simmons, the main character, the movie is about his struggle between good and bad, light and dark, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of dialogue to try to explore that. But the basic premise, and this is basic premise of Spawn in general. Al Simmons, he's like a mercenary, and he gets double crossed and he dies. He gets murdered by Jason Wynn, his boss. And he goes to hell, and he is confronted by a demon called Malbosia. For this series, it's essentially the devil. I don't know if in Spawn there is a devil above Malbosia, but this is who he deals with.
Okay.
And he makes a deal with Malbosia to come back to Earth, come back alive, because he takes a rank in his army. And he's going to be like a general in Hell's army when the eventual battle with heaven begins. That's the deal. He can come back to Earth, he can see his wife, and when the time comes, he needs to be a general in the army.
However that was portrayed in the movie, I don't think I ever even picked up that much.
Right.
I just don't remember all of that.
I think in the film, you probably heard that. I hit the microphone. I think in the film it was portrayed when he's talking to Malbosia. I think you see like a bunch of other Spawn-looking dudes, and they're like, yeah, like down in the fire pit,
Gotcha.
down in hell. But he comes back to Earth, and like 5 years later, he's all scarred. So he thought he would come back to Earth, and he'd be like, oh, just like he was, and he could go join his wife, and everything's good. But no, he's completely disfigured and scarred, kind of like Darkman. I like that theme, I guess.
Darkman, Deadpool.
Yeah, I like that theme, disfigured and scarred. There's probably something to that, I guess. I'm not disfigured and scarred, but anyway. So he's back. He's scarred up, and it's 5 years later, and his wife is with another dude. And so it's like a monkey's paw situation. Like, hey, yeah, you're getting what he said you'd get, but it's not what you
I
wanted.
held up my promise.
Right, exactly. And that clown played by John Leguizamo, which was a huge draw in the 90s. It was like, John Leguizamo's in this film. Go watch it. That and The Pest for some reason. You remember that film?
Yeah.
The Pest is probably one of the most annoying films I've ever seen. I was a child when I saw it, and I was annoyed by him. Anyway, he plays the clown, but also his name is the Violator, and it's just a demon, and he's there as kind of like Spawn's babysitter to make sure he doesn't do anything that goes against Malbosia's plans. And the idea is, Spawn is going to kill Wynn, and when Spawn tries to kill Wynn makes a deal with the Violator to I don't know what he was getting out of it to not die. But anyway, the Violator convinces him to like put a kill switch on his heart so that if he dies, so this is like to try to prevent him from being killed because Al tries to kill him. The kill switch will unleash this virus upon the Earth. And this is the part when I was looking up the plot. I was like, I don't remember the virus part. But it will unleash a virus and start the end war, the Armageddon war with Heaven.
Okay.
And at that point, Simmons would have to become the general. And it's Al trying to prevent that eventual virus to be released to prevent the war with Heaven. It's a heavy, like thematically and stuff, it's heavy.
All these movies that get remade that you just like, when you hear they're going to remake something and you're just like, oh no, please don't. Maybe that's one that maybe could use that attention. I don't know.
If the team who did Constantine got their hands on it. Because I think Constantine handled these themes really well.
Constantine's great.
Yeah.
Still, there's a topic for you. The best portrayal of a devil in a movie.
Mm-hmm. Constantine was great.
The devil in Constantine is awesome.
Agreed.
My thing with Spawn is like, what was the year on that again? 1997?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, 97. I feel like it was earlier. Like,
it feels
in
to
my
me
mind,
like,
it was earlier.
It feels to me like it was earlier that I was seeing like Spawn toys all the time.
Yeah, Spawn came about. Todd McFarlane created Spawn because he left Marvel because they wouldn't give him they wouldn't really share rights with
So there
Venom.
were toys and stuff way before this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
He made Spawn, I think, like in 90. I want to say like 91.
I was gonna say I was trying to remember why I would have been walking through a toy section in 1997 because I was graduating college, didn't have any kids yet, so
92.
that makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Spawn came out in 92, and it was only a few years after that where McFarlane Toys came about. And the reason he did that was because, like, was it Hasbro? Like, all the toy makers that were around at the time, Playmate and Hasbro, he thought that their toys weren't detailed enough. And he was like, well, I want to make more detailed toys.
I remember seeing the toys all the time, and I was just like, man, that looks really cool. But it's like, what is it? And I had no idea. It was, again, my 2-channel home with no comics and no internet.
Right.
I was just like, I don't even know what that is. It was like, it's kind of cool looking, but I think it seemed like they were kind of expensive for the time.
They were. Yeah.
I don't remember prices, but like a G.I. Joe dude was like $3 or $4 back then, and He-Man was like probably what, $8 for a He-Man guy. So it must have been more than that.
I'm thinking it was like $5 for like He-Man.
It might have been.
Yeah, they were a lot cheaper. Yeah, it was like double the price of the other toys.
Yeah.
I remember I bought a couple of them because they were more detailed than the other toys being offered. But what's funny is toy technology has gotten insanely good. Yeah. Like it used to be, they'd make a toy of a character that an actor was playing in the film, and you're like, okay, whatever. You say that's that actor. It doesn't look like him at all. But now, like, they look exactly like them, and of course, they're like $200 now.
Yeah.
The toys I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The figures, I don't know what you want to call them. But
I need to go back and see if I can find it and watch it again sometime. I like to kind of follow that storyline through all the bad film parts of it that there were.
Right.
I remember like this big flowing cape all the time, and I was like, well, that's a lot of cape.
It was the cape. People were very critical of the cape, and the scenes with Malboja, and like the devil when he was in hell, they look like, they just look animated. Yeah. It's even at the time, it looked bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was maybe the first time, the only time watching it was thinking, it's like, this will be awesome when this kicks off. And it was like, no. The best scene was the fight at the beginning when he got killed.
Right. Yeah.
It kind of never went anywhere from there.
I've always been able to, and I don't, ever since a child, I don't ever remember like seeing bad CG or bad animation or anything like that and feeling like it was a slight on the film. Like I remember seeing this, and I was, older teen when I saw this, but I remember seeing it, was like, that's pretty bad CG, but it didn't bother me. I noticed it. I was like, like everyone else noticed it.
I've always been fine with not great CG. I don't like bad, like Sharknado bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been okay with good stuff if the story and stuff was engaging enough that you were enjoying it. And again, I just don't remember the details other than I think I was just annoyed.
A lot of people were that, yeah.
Coming through that movie, and I just did not get into it.
You got to remember, this is around the time of like the Batman films, like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever and stuff like that. That's when this came out. So people had an idea of what like a superhero film was supposed to be. This was before Spider-Man, before Mystery Men. So I mean, that is one of the things I think is interesting, that this film got made. The Spawn franchise, when this was produced, was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And then you had these other franchises that were like 30 years old at this point, and they weren't getting films made. So the fact that this was even considered and that it was greenlit is, I don't know. It's special.
I think if I was going to redo that, I might come up with somebody other than John Leguizamo. I think he was finally cast appropriately when they made him Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age movies.
Well, I do think that the clown was, because the Violator does shapeshift into the clown in the comics, but he's not. Of course, this could just be how you read into it. He's not goofy like John Leguizamo was. Yeah. He's more sadistic, like John Wayne Gacy. That's the thing. I've always assumed that's what. Since I learned who John Wayne Gacy was after I knew about Spawn, I'm like, oh, I bet the Violator is based on. Anyway, I think John Leguizamo's characterization of the clown was probably was trying to get the kids into it. You know, yeah.
He's had some misfires there. Was he Mario or Luigi?
Yeah, he's Luigi. Yeah,
he was Luigi in that.
Yeah.
And I see him all the time, always trying to portray like some sort of tough guy in a movie, and you're like,
no, John, that's not you. I'm sorry.
I don't buy it. Sorry. Pat you on your little head and shovel you along.
He's entertaining enough. I mean, we know his name. You know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of actors that have done similar films and whatnot, and you don't remember them, or they're not around it. Like, where's Yahoo Serious?
Yeah.
He did that one film.
I probably honestly would not know his name if it wasn't for Ice Age.
Right. No, I'm around the time, I want to see when The Pest came out. Because I went and saw The Pest because of him. Like, he drew me to the theater in 1997, so same year. If I remember that film correctly, and I saw it in the theater, I've never seen it again. He gets involved, you know, like what's that film or book, the most dangerous game, and it's about hunting humans.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. He gets put on an island, and rich people are hunting him, but he's really annoying. That's the premise of the film.
I think the marketing team would have to work on that concept a little bit to get me there.
Yeah, it's okay. That's funny. It actually says it's a black comedy film inspired by the classic 1924 Richard Connell short story, The Most Dangerous Game. So that's exactly what it is. But yeah, I agree with you. They remake a lot of stuff, and this is video games and movies. Remake the stuff that was bad.
Yeah, fix the stuff that was like, wow, that didn't work.
Yeah, and don't go remaking. Like The Mask. Don't remake The Mask. The Mask is perfect the way it is. Leave it alone.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord of the Rings, yeah. Leave that alone. Even you, Peter Jackson, leave it alone.
Well, what's the most recent
They're making something else now.
Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yeah,
so
Chronicles of Narnia.
Let's make that again. It's like, no, you don't need to.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything wrong with the first one. It's like, I know what's going to happen there. I'm just going to swap everything and try to see how many people you can take off.
Isn't Aslan being voiced by a woman?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look that
up. That's 100% believable. Is like the... It's not the lady that did Barbie, is it?
Yeah, she's the...
Is it? Yeah. Oh,
Gerwin? Is that it?
Something like that. No, that's completely believable.
Yeah, Meryl Streep is, reportedly in talks.
Yeah.
But, yeah... Yeah, C.S. Lewis said that Aslan is not. I forget the exact. He made up a term, I think, to describe what Aslan is. But his idea was, if there was a world where these animals were like this, and Jesus came to that world, how would he be? And that's Aslan.
Yeah.
So it's not like Jesus. Aslan is an allegory for Jesus. Like, no, Jesus is Aslan in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
that works.
Yeah.
And. I don't. Why?
I don't follow a lot of celebrities. I've seen Justine Bateman on Twitter or X or whatever we call it now.
Mm-hmm.
we'll post like an announcement like Meryl Streep is going to play Aslan, or they're
Right.
going to remake this or remake that, and she always just has a hashtag that says "make new films,"
Right.
and it's like
Please,
that's really
please
all,
make new films.
that's really all you need to say. It's like stop, stop just pillaging everything. Just make something new. Take the money that you would have wasted on remaking 3 things and put that all into one solid production, and go get talent to help you make it if you do not know how to make it. It's not hard to do.
Well, we're not too far removed from when original films were being produced, such as Kick-Ass.
Was it? Because I threw this in because this is Mystery Men.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it got all the attention and the praise that Mystery Men probably deserved, but did not get.
Well, it had the fortunate placing to be before the MCU, but after Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a right time.
The next
it came
line
out.
that I put was timing,
Yep.
and it was probably packaged a little bit better. Matthew Vaughn directed it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was from comics from Mark Millar.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of things going for it. It was already kind of fleshed out. It was well written. Matthew Vaughn is the Kingsman films, and I forget what else he's done. He's done a lot of that kind of stuff. But he has definitely a unique filmmaking style that this was probably an early example of, because this was 2010.
Yeah.
I threw this into my list of movies, just like I was talking about with like Edge of Tomorrow and
Right.
things. I hesitate to say it's even like a top 10 favorite film, but I've probably rewatched Kick-Ass more than any other superhero movie. Because it is just insanely rewatchable. You can turn it on, you pick it up wherever it is. I've seen it. Once you know the storyline, it's easy to just jump into it. Nick Cage playing
He's perfectly cast in this.
playing basically Batman, but he's the Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. And
This is the role of Nick Cage's that got me to be a fan of Nick Cage. Like, I liked like him in Face Off and stuff, but just like as an actor, I wasn't on board
Yeah.
the Nick Cage train. But after his performance in Big Daddy, I was like, yep,
I goes on
give me
and
more Cage.
got me looking at him differently, because one of my favorite rewatches is because it was one that I owned coming out of high school. And if you came to hang out on movie night in my dorm room at Washington Lee on Sunday night, you would get to see Raising Arizona at least once every other month, because 1, I didn't have that many movies, and 2, if somebody said I hadn't seen Raising Arizona, it was like, guess what we're watching tonight. So that's Nicolas Cage to me. It's always been, and seeing him kind of get into like this different style of character, I thought was awesome. But the whole idea of this one, for anybody that hasn't even seen it, which if you haven't at this point, you just need to put that on your list of things to do,
Yeah.
is that it's Aaron Taylor Johnson, wants to go be a real life superhero and try to stop some of the crime and stuff that happens. And
Yeah, he's just this kid that asks his friends at lunch one day, he's like, why hasn't anybody tried this?
Yeah.
And he decides to be that person.
I think when he tries to break up the crime, not only does he like get his butt kicked, but then he like steps out into traffic and just gets plowed by somebody like
Obliterated.
going full speed, and
Breaks a bunch of bones in his body.
when they put him, they sort of heal him all. He loses feeling. Was this the first one of these movies? I guess Darkman was.
Darkman, yeah.
Darkman was in front of it.
Yep.
Where they become a superhero by losing like their pain sensitivity, and that he got like reinforced bones too, so he was
Yeah, he got metal bones.
a little bit of a Wolverine. Still tries to go into it, and of course he gets bailed out by Hit Girl, who's Chloe Grace Moretz. I think probably the first thing I ever saw her in.
I think it's the first thing everyone saw her in.
Yeah. And probably the thing where you're thinking, I think we said that about her before, is like, man, this is going to be like one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. And that never really panned out. But
Well, she's still young. Well,
Yeah,
is she? I don't know. I don't know. We're old now.
she's,
She's got to be what, in her late 20s?
I'm sure she's got a few dollars in the account. I would think she'd probably be pushing.
Yeah, born 97. So, yeah.
Yeah, so she's right at 30.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, that's getting old for Hollywood, isn't it?
No, she's got plenty of time.
out of Leo's range.
Yeah, definitely out of Leo's range.
I guess he was out of Leo's range when she played this.
Oh. I've enjoyed everything I've seen her in. I think she's a great actress.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I think that when we were talking about that before, I was like, it just seems like she would have been in more things by now. She would be the person getting cast into all these big Marvel things and bigger roles and stuff like that. But
it would be interesting to find out if her choice of roles has been deliberate.
Yeah, I never know that on some people if they choose to. Kind of wonder that about Natalie Portman after she got into the Star Wars stuff. It's like, did she just decide to sort of step away, or did like people avoid her because she was too expensive, or whatever.
I mean, it's looking like that she has now. She does a lot of voice work apparently.
Yeah,
because she's American Dad, Mickey Mouse Club, Bubble Guppies, so a lot of like kids shows.
Yeah.
But looks like she's pulling down 4 or 5 projects a year. So
Yeah.
I mean, she's busy.
Yeah. If you can do that from home, just go
right.
Go do a little bit of voice work and go back in the afternoon. That's a much easier existence than going and being on location in New Zealand for 6 months or something like that. But yeah, Kick-Ass is like, I kind of put it in that same category as like Zombieland, where there's parts of it that are goofy. It's not the best film that's ever been made, but it kind of comes back to that rewatchability thing. I think I rewatched Zombieland about 3 or 4 nights ago, just because I flipped around and that was what was on. I don't know if I have it through Prime or Hulu, whatever I have it through at the moment. I saw it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not flipping anymore. I'm just watching Zombieland. And
both of those films, I would say, are films of a certain era. There is a humor of, I'd say, the late aughts, early teens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you think of like American Pie. That's a late 90s comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's Kick-Ass, Zombieland, both are in that same thing. It's full of actors that I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you compare that to the Avengers, it's full of some of the most insufferable people that I can imagine. I mean, outside of like Robert Downey, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner, everybody else involved in all the Marvel stuff, I'm just tired of seeing. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them talk about anything. I don't want to be preached to by any of them about anything. It's just, I don't think any of those people from anything that I've seen, and I'm sure they're in the same category on how they feel about a lot of things, but I just don't see them constantly doing that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of keeps me more attracted to movies like these. Is like I just like the people involved, and it's.
I think, with the exception of like Nick Cage, I think this was the introduction of pretty much the whole cast for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I saw any of these people in any film besides
really
this.
Probably why I give a lot of grace to a lot of the things that Aaron Taylor Johnson has done since then.
Right, because he was so good in this.
Because I liked him in this so much, and I'm willing to try out his other stuff. I still haven't seen the Marvel thing.
Craven.
Just because
I'm just not interested. I'm just not. I don't care. I don't care.
It could be a good movie. It's into that I don't care category at this point. I had you throw in another picture.
Yeah, let's go to that one.
To this.
Who is this? I don't know who this is.
This is me and Don Fry.
Okay.
Don Fry was one of those early MMA guys. When they did those first UFCs where they were just beating each other to death. He won a couple of them. He and Dan Severn kind of became the people that dominated those first early ones until all of the Gracies came in with all their jiu-jitsu stuff where they were just twisting your knees 18 ways from Sunday and making people submit. Brought all the Brazilian jiu-jitsu stuff into it. But Don Fry's backstory is like he was a fireman. He tried to box, just was not coordinated enough, not fast enough as a boxer. I think had gone out west to basically like put shoes on horses, like on a ranch. And then the UFC thing started. It might have been the ranch thing and then the fireman job, because it seemed like he was back around New York when the UFC thing started up, and he came into it from that side. He had success in the UFC, went to Japan to wrestle because it was just a thing that was taking off there. They were looking for talent. I think when he went was close to 9/11, so he became like the guy that came out in American trunks and waving the flags. He kind of played that role in the Japanese wrestling stuff. Broke his back
Oh, goodness.
And when they put his back, when they fixed his back, they basically fused a whole segment of his like vertebrae together,
Right.
up to his neck, to the point that he had like, I just brought this up because of like the character
Kick-ass.
in Kick-Ass, that it turned him into like this monster. Like when people fought with him, he went back into mixed martial arts while he was in
Oh my
Japan.
goodness. So he broke his back, healed up, and went back to it?
They fused his neck, and you could watch some of the fights right after this. When people hit him, that his head didn't move because it couldn't. It was reinforced by steel,
Wow.
by a rod that was.
So
running
he
up
has
his
permanent Batman neck, where he
He-
has to turn his torso if he wants to look left and right?
back. And he had sort of a second coming in like mixed martial arts there, and I cannot remember the name of the Japanese fight. If you just look up Don Fry, MMA fight Japan, you'll see him fight this dude. It's one of the most brutal things. I've showed it to my wife one time, and she couldn't watch half of it. She was like, I can't watch this. And I met him because he was at a G-Fest, because he was in Final Wars. He was the guy that was like driving the submarine / spaceship that was just going around trying to hunt down all the kaiju in a trench coat with a samurai sword for some reason, just rolling off lines that I think they wanted him to say one thing, and he was like, nah, he's just really gritty, just hilarious dude. But I met him at a G-Fest up in Chicago. I threw a picture of it up there on the on the thing because he's a real life kick-ass.
That's awesome.
He was a.
I mean, maybe not awesome for him, but I guess it is.
I listened to him on Rogan like within the last 10 years, and he's in his 60s. That he was still. I think people have finally talked him out of it. He was talking about going like to Mexico and getting into like stem cell surgeries and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
To try to rejuvenate some things and going back into fighting. And I mean, I met the dude.
He's got a bug. That's what it is. It's gotten in him.
When you met him, it literally was like you meet people. I've just from being a police officer for excuse me, for so many years. It's kind of built into me that I size people up just naturally, just wherever I am. I'm always trying to sort of assess what kind of room I'm in or what kind of situation I'm in. Is just sort of a defensive thing.
You and I have just been together at like cons that you go to, and you'll say something to me, and I'll be like, huh? I'm very much an oblivious citizen, very much.
I try to be vigilant, but
I go through my life. Doo-doo-doo.
I met him, shook his hand, and literally it was like, that was the first thing I thought. Was like, I cannot imagine this man
Getting hit by this,
hitting
yeah.
me one time. It was like, I consider myself pretty athletic and pretty talented on that front myself. And I was like, I would not want to be hit by this dude. His hand, it was like shaking a brick at the end of both of his hands. And he was a hilarious dude. I'm in the picture, if you can't see it on the thing, I had on a pair of brown bib overalls with my Godzilla shirt. He's sitting there at the booth with a cigar and his thing, and I walk up. I think I was like the second person in line because I went on down early to go meet him. And he's like sitting there. He looks at me, looks down at my feet, looks up, and he goes, "Nice shorts." I was like, whatever I was going to say to you, I just forgot. But he talks like that. If you ever listen to him talk, he had a podcast that's really hard to listen to because if I'm hard to hear, he's even harder to hear. But he's just got that gritty voice. I mean, I try to filter myself some. He does not. If it comes to his mind, he will say it. And probably another reason that I have an affinity for him. But I had to throw that in on the kick-ass thing.
That's great.
He's the real life. He's the real deal. And, even at whatever age he's at now, in his late 60s, probably getting closer to 70 at this point, I would not fight him. I'd fight with him, stand next to him any day. But yeah, he's an interesting dude. Let's jump on to the next one there.
That makes me think of in Mystery Men when the Shoveler, you said you'll stand with him when the Shoveler tells the Spleen, "I won't stand behind you, but I'll stand beside you." Yeah. So the next film,
I'm not sure Don would let you stand
right.
stand behind him. He'd be like, "What are you doing back there?"
What are you doing? Next film I wanted to bring up was Super. Have you ever seen this?
It's in that category. It's been a while.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
So the basic premise of Super is there's this guy named Frank, and he's kind of off his rocker, really.
Is this a Kevin Bacon movie?
Kevin Bacon's in it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He plays...
Just making sure I was thinking of the right thing.
He plays Jock. That's who he plays. But anyway, Frank is... he has this girlfriend, and the girlfriend is plays by Liv Tyler, Sarah, and she's a drug addict.
Yeah.
And Frank tries to help her, but she's just keeps getting back into this life. And because of that, she leaves him for Kevin Bacon's character, Jock. And he kind of goes a little insane. And because Jock is this bad guy, he decides he needs to be a superhero. And some part of the premise starts off a lot like Kick-Ass, where it's like, why hasn't anybody ever tried this before? That sort of thing.
I remember that.
And then there's this whole, I won't even call it a subplot. There's this whole thematic element throughout the whole film that is religious Christian based. He gets really inspired to be a superhero from, I think it's called the Holy Avenger, played by Nathan Fillion. And he's like on TV, and it's kind of taking the piss out of like Christian media, how it's kind of over the top and stuff like that. And he doesn't do drugs or anything like that, but he has a vision. He said he has a vision, and has been plagued by visions for his whole life. And these tentacles come into his room, wrap him up, cut off the top of his head, and the finger of God touches his brain. And he thinks he's one of God's chosen children, and he's given this holy edict to go out and fight crime. Now he doesn't become a new Holy Avenger. He's the Crimson Bolt. That's his whole superhero shtick.
Yeah.
Now, this is a lot like Kick-Ass in premise.
I was looking at it's the same year.
Oh, it came out the same year as Kick-Ass?
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder if they were in a race to get these ideas out or something. Or
Well, remember Dante's Peak and the other Volcano
it
movie?
was just called Volcano.
Yeah, and then there was Deep Impact and the other movie.
Armageddon.
Yeah, that happens all the time where it's like the 13th floor in the Matrix. I mean,
It's probably some like little script writer or somebody that actually gave the guy who ends up taking credit for the screen probably submitted it and everybody stole it, and then
or they were yakking off about their new screenplay at the bar. And
Yeah.
someone overhears them and they're like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure that kind of stuff happens all the time. But the thing I would say that differentiates Super and Kick-Ass, of course, Kick-Ass was an actual comic book. I don't think Super was. I don't think I've ever seen Super as a comic. It's a James Gunn original production, original story.
Yeah.
Is Super stays in the realm of like plausibility in our world. Kick-Ass becomes a superhero comic book. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's flying around in a jetpack.
Yeah.
I mean, in this film, like people die. He decides he needs a weapon because he can't really square up against the bad guys, and he decides on this pipe wrench, and he just paints this pipe wrench red, and he's just braining people all over the place. And so I'm not going to go through the whole plot, but he eventually meets is pretty much the girl who was at the comic book store, played by Ellen Page, and she plays Libby, and that's Bolty,
Okay.
and she is insane in this film. There's at one point she runs into one of the bad guys with her car, and she gets out and starts laughing at him. She's like, "Now you don't have any legs." It's ridiculous. Oh,
it's been a while since I've seen this thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, I remember her being really just kind of almost like kind of young and naive, but crazy, kind of at the same time.
yeah. The main character Frank is played by Rainn Wilson. He's Dwight from The Office,
Yeah.
and apparently James Gunn was working on the screenplay since 2002, and he was married to Jenna Fisher at the time.
Okay.
Gave her the script. She read it, loved it, took it to Rainn Wilson. That's kind of how all that happened. That's how he got involved. And apparently, before Rainn Wilson took it, John C. Reilly was considered for the role of Frank. And I'm like, I could have seen that.
Yeah,
John C.
2010 it would have been.
John C. Reilly would have. at the time they didn't think he had enough notoriety to play.
How prominent was the pet store employee in the movie?
Just for a moment. I mean, really, she should have played the Bolte character. Because,
I was going to say,
I
kind of lost my train of thought looking at the cast, looking at Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, she was literally, she showed Frank a rabbit. And she was like, do you want the rabbit? And he was like, I don't think I should. And he leaves. And that's it. She's in there for like 2 minutes.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Talk about people that haven't been used in film enough.
No, what has she been?
Dead, I guess that's a series. Dead to Me, Freaks and Geeks. She's been in
Freaks and
Scooby-Doo.
Geeks, okay. Oh, she played Velma.
Does she
in
Velma?
Scooby-Doo,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And the James Gunn Scooby-Doo.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a James Gunn film too, right?
It was. Written, directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
And
looks like he had all of his family involved in it too, didn't he?
Yeah, James Gunn very much, he kind of has his people, and he brings his people along with him.
I know
Like
Sean,
his brother is in every one of his films.
Yeah, I know
it seems
Sean
like.
is.
He was the guy that got his legs pinned by Bolte. No, you don't have any legs.
There's a lot of people in this movie too.
And towards the end, like towards the climax of the film, Frank is just making pipe bombs and has a shotgun, and he's just murdering people. It's an insane film, and one thing I thought was interesting is, like I said, he's like at one point he's praying to God, and he's like, please God, show me the way. And this is after like his girlfriend leaves him and stuff. And in the middle of his prayer, he's like, I hate you, God. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. And it's interesting. I looked up like, well, what's James Gunn's like religious affiliations?
Yeah.
James Gunn doesn't claim any religion in general. He thinks religion is kind of toxic, but he says prayer is a big part of his life. So
Okay.
he's like, he doesn't really care for organized religion. And this very much, we've talked before about how like we would like to see more like Christian themes in films.
Yeah.
This is very much like a secular Christian's film.
Yeah.
Because it's and there's stuff in this film like if there's someone who's just like a Bible thumping Christian, they would not put in this film.
Oh yeah.
But James Gunn has always been known for his dirty mind. Really, he has a very crude sense of humor.
Yeah.
And this was before he got in trouble for it and stuff, so he kind of pushed it, which I think made for a good film. I wouldn't say it's like it's not as good as Kick-Ass. Absolutely, I think Kick-Ass is a better film by a mile. But as a comparing to Kick-Ass, I think is interesting. And there's a lot of if you want to take this film and really dig into like the themes that they're presenting and stuff like that, I think you can. This is one of those films where you can watch it and you watch it for a literal bloody good time. You can do that, but you could really dissect like, well, what's Frank's faith doing in here? The idea of having a calling, what that does to a person, when your own personal desires meets your personal desires is influenced by not only like your faith, but also the hardships in your life. There's a lot of personal justifications that he goes through.
A lot of corruptions of.
A lot of corruption
Of the calling.
At one point, like Frank is standing in line, and he's been the Crimson Bolt for a while now, and he's like in the newspaper, and people are talking about him and stuff. And he's in line for a movie, and there's some people that cut in line in front of him, and he gets upset, and he goes and he changes into his Crimson Bolt outfit in his car, grabs his pipe wrench, and just brains the dude, cracks his head open, and then just whacks his wife across the face, or his girlfriend or whatever. And he's saying, "You don't cut in line," or you don't cut in line. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a good film, but
It's been a while. I need to track it down and watch it again because I have images of scenes, and beyond that, I don't remember a lot of it. I think one of the main scenes I remember of him and Ellen Page hooking up.
Well, she rapes him.
That's why I thought.
She straight up rapes him.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of how I remembered that, and I was trying to remember that without saying.
You're like, how do I not say that word?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I just demonetized this. Oh well. Not that we're getting monetized anyway. But this is one of the films that made me think about like what themes can be in films, because I definitely think you can watch this and you can read into it.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what the film is trying to say. I don't know how much James Gunn goes into like allegory and stuff like that. I think he just. I think he has
my guess
ideas.
is that he probably just kind of went with the main idea that you see, and
Yeah.
it just the way the story comes together, it gives you that opening to. It could mean this. It could mean this.
Right. Yeah.
I think we're talking about that with something I just saw, which we'll save that for a later episode, where I was like, all these people are talking about it might mean this or it might mean this, and it's like I watched it. It's like I don't think it means any of that.
Right. Well, this past week I was considering Mystery Men, and I was thinking about like, well, what themes could be in Mystery Men?
Yeah.
Because really, I think it's a fun superhero film. I don't think there's really any deeper themes, but
Yeah.
you could watch that film and you could come out with the themes of wish fulfillment. You have the heroes who are wanting to be superheroes, but they're not.
Yeah. It's wanting to do more with your life and wanting to be more significant, and chasing that little superhero thing is maybe that's the way that I can do it, and
like a realization of some sort of dream that they might have. And one of the things I was considering it, most of them are just trying to be better of what they are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about the Blue Raja, but the shoveler that's what he does for a living, and he just wants to use that to help people. And there's a deleted scene in Mystery Men where you see the Blue Raja's character selling silverware at a store. Like, that's what he does for a living. So that still it's him using what he knows to try to be better.
Yeah.
But then you have Casanova Frankenstein, who's trying to realize his dream, but he's doing it through the fraculator, which forces his dream into reality without him actually trying to be better. Yeah. So I mean, you could, I mean, someone could probably write a doctoral dissertation about those themes in that. Yeah. But really, it's just a funny film about superheroes.
I've got a book upstairs that was like a philosophy book that somebody wrote about the Matrix.
Yeah.
And I read about half of it, and it kind of got to a thing where I was starting to, kind of felt like I was kind of just chasing this philosophy around in a circle, which I guess that's all philosophy, is you just talk circles around everything.
Yeah.
But it's completely something I think somebody drew out and made their own analysis of what was just a really cool idea for a movie.
Right.
And I don't think that was all the stuff that they were trying to work in this philosophy thing. I think were probably little parts of it were present in the movie, but it just wasn't. I don't think the movie intended all that. It was just.
I think a lot of what, specifically with the Matrix, I think a lot of that was like how in the second one there was the Merovingian. Yeah. Like people pull out all sorts of reasons. Oh well, what I mean, he was the Merovingian because no, it was just a cool name, and they, they included it because they liked
the
that
whole
name.
idea of Zion.
Yeah,
there's a whole branch of discussions you could have all about that. I really think
I agree.
It was the two Wachowski brothers being like, it'd be cool if we called it Zion.
Yeah.
I think that's probably as deep as it went, but yeah.
The same with a lot of like the Christ allegories they try to shove on the Neo. It's like you're putting a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
You shave off the sides, it might work.
Yeah, I will. Is that on anything streaming that you know of?
I do not know.
It's been a while. It's probably not.
I mean, I think I watched it on Netflix when I watched it.
Okay. If it's trapped on Netflix, then
where to watch? It was years ago. It says Pluto TV.
If it's on YouTube, that would be great. That's probably a
premium and subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably sit through.
Doesn't say Netflix.
The problem with Pluto TV is it's not that just you get ads every 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's you get the same two ads every 7 minutes, and it really becomes. It's like that water drip on your head after a while. Say, man, I don't think I can. How many more times I can hear this ad?
I don't need that medicine.
Yeah.
No, Progressive, I'm not going to sign up for your insurance.
Yeah.
I see so many Progressive ads. But this is the first of two films that we're going to talk about with James Gunn.
Yeah.
And I do think it's interesting how he's made it. And I think James Gunn is a really good... Like, I first came to know James Gunn through a game called Lollipop Chainsaw. And it was just, you play a cheerleader that kills zombies. That's the premise.
I think my first James Gunn thing was Slither.
Slither, yeah. Okay.
And
yeah.
Might be more relevant to say after we talk about the next one, but I really feel like he's better in that area than he is in big budget, big studio things.
Well, between this and we'll go into the next slide is Brightburn. Between Super and Brightburn, I definitely think there's almost like a fake it till you make it situation going on with him. Like he wanted to, like Sam Raimi was like, well, he wanted to make either The Shadow or Batman, and they said no, and he was like, fine, I'll make my own. James Gunn was like, I want to make a superhero film, and they said no, and he said, all right, I'm gonna make a superhero film exactly like that character, except I'm gonna make him evil.
Yeah. Brightburn. I remember seeing the previews for this thing. I was like, man, I was actually in the theater while this was in the theaters to see something else, and what it was in 2019, I do not remember. Okay. But I remember.
Wow, this hardly ever happens. Was it that recently, 2019?
Yeah.
Wow, I would have put it at like 2014.
And I remember like walking even past, like after whatever I watched I walked past the theater where Brightburn was, and I could hear it. I was like, man, I need to get back up here and go see that. And I never did. It took forever to find it on something to watch, and I think I finally found it on like Tubi, where I saw it for free. And I don't know where it is now. It's still on something I think that I've got access to. It might be on YouTube TV, or it might be back on Tubi. It'll go. I think it's between services. When things don't have a place to land, a lot of times they just land on TV for a month or less, and then somebody else will pick them up.
I'd love to know like what Tubi is as like in the industry, like what is it, who owns it?
Yeah, it's all commercial backed, and they actually produce their own stuff. So
there's Tubi originals.
Yeah,
really?
They make some of their own movies.
Fox. Wait a minute. So does that mean Disney owns Tubi?
I think it was on that part of Fox when Fox and Hulu were separate from Disney and all that stuff.
No, Fox owns because Disney bought from Fox like their properties.
Yeah,
Fox still exists as like a news organization. So Tubi's owned by that part. Disney bought 20th Century Fox.
I had the thing printed out sometime, and I probably still have it on my computer. It's a big thing that looks like Mickey Mouse's head.
Yeah.
And it shows the connection between Disney and all the stuff that it owns. And I can't remember all the different corporations that own things that you do know. There's some that you've never even heard of that are kind of the in-between things on stuff. And
when you start, and it's not just Disney, when you start to look at what corporations own what, it's like a handful of rich people. Yeah. That's all it is. Just a handful of people who own it all.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I used to think when I was young, when I was younger, I was naive, and I thought that the government protected us from monopolies.
Yeah, no, they just make the monopolies that benefit them.
That's right. Anyway,
2019, David Yaroski directed it.
Okay.
But it was kind of with the assistance and produced by James Gunn and his brothers. I guess there's two brothers. And I mean, did pretty good. It did $33 million box office against a $12 million budget. So
interesting. I was under the impression this whole time that it was written by James Gunn.
Yeah.
It's written by his brothers.
Yeah.
Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Mark is the one. His wife is in Super.
Okay.
I don't remember the character, but I was looking through the characters. I saw a lady with a gun last name, and that says that he was James Gunn's stepsister and married to Mark or Matt, whatever the name was. But Brightburn, not liked at all by critics.
I don't know why. I enjoyed it when I first saw it, and I saw it again recently. I enjoyed it again. It was great.
I don't know what... some of the things I saw with the critical response to it was that it had such a chance that it's like they wanted this to be some kind of alternate like Marvel thing,
right?
But they were complaining that it became a horror movie. And I'm like, no, I like it because it's a horror movie.
I mean, it's in my perfect world, Brightburn would have turned into it would have been like what Unbreakable should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they had Brightburn. Okay, well that's your evil Superman. All right, well, now let's do an evil Batman and let's do an evil Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, if you just would have stayed on this file, you still had all the people, again, like Invincible.
Yeah.
You could have at least got a sequel out of it, if not a trilogy. Kept it kind of on a low key thing where you're just, maybe a second movie is fighting a different guy, and then a third thing would be resolution to how they either destroyed the world or how the world stopped them. It's a pretty easy series to do.
Yeah, and it really, just really the direction they would want to take it. You know, do you want to like have redemption or what?
Yeah, but this it's basically follows the exact premise of Superman. I don't have to explain all that, but
Well, one thing they added, which was a stroke of genius, and I kind of think they thought of this first and then they made the rest of the movie, is that bees versus wasps. I think that was a beautiful way to describe what the people of this kid came from versus humans. Like the wasps are just mean and nasty, but they're kind of like bees. Bees are nice, helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being like a thing in the classroom at the school. I didn't remember that part of it that well because
it was literally them just kind of describing the difference between like this is a wasp and this is what the wasps do and at least I've always thought that they were saying, well, this kid is a wasp.
Yeah.
Amongst all these bees.
Yeah, I remember them making that allegory. I couldn't remember exactly how it came into the story.
Yeah, it was like a lesson in class.
But yeah,
it was literal exposition.
Ship crashes into a farm in Kansas. They find the ship, find the baby, and decide to raise it just like Superman.
And it's almost to the point of plagiarism. It really is.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like real copyright on the idea of a spaceship crashing.
Well, in Kansas.
I guess they could have made it Iowa.
With a kid who can fly and shoot lasers.
Yeah.
And is strong. Oh, yeah.
But it kind of comes into the story of, they couldn't have any kids, and it kind of comes into this kid as he's kind of hit puberty. Mm-hmm. And always been there like kind of sweet little child, but then as he's starting to change or whatever, the ship starts to talk to him. Yeah. They have the ship buried in the barn, and whatever triggers in the kid is linked to that ship, and he starts sleepwalking or whatever out to like the barn, and like I think they find him like floating above it there one time.
And they haven't told him at this point. Like at this point, he just thinks he's their son.
Yeah. Has no idea that there's a ship under. It's like these doors in the barn that are chained shut, and I think at one point he's out there like rocking on the doors, but he's always in like a trance when he goes. Mm-hmm. He gets near it, so it's like it's kind of controlling the kid or activating him or something, and it's giving him this message. And they finally like translate it. It's telling him take the world. So, and I always kind of wondered that little twist of what they did to Superman.
Yeah,
I wonder if that was
inspired by this.
Wonder if that was him taking this idea and working that into the Superman movie, since it's the same director or same.
Well, he was involved. Yeah, it might be, but I don't think he was. I don't think a little change to Superman was him trying to like violate what Superman was. I don't think he was trying to spoil Superman.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to make a differentiation between Kryptonians and humans to show that, well, Clark's really a human. Yeah. I think that's kind of what he was trying to do. That's the thing but I don't think it worked.
As I've gone away from Superman, where I've been more hung up on it was that little twist. Mm-hmm. And that there was nothing involved with Krypton or any of the Jor-El, any of the original story to ever indicate that they were bad conquerors. No. And that he changed that part, and that changes the whole idea of Superman. And I understand the little thing is like he overcame the evil that he could have become to be righteous and stuff. But it's like, I don't think it ever needed to be there. It was nothing wrong with him being somebody that was a pure being from another planet that was here and more powerful and was here to protect people.
Well, Jor-El explicitly, like as far as I understand, like in the comics and obviously in the movies, he's known to be like a more virtuous and pious than all the other Kryptonians. Like he went against the Kryptonians to send his son to Earth because he wanted Krypton to live on, but not through conquering, but through his son helping others. Yeah.
The further I've gotten away from Superman, the less I've liked it because of that.
I understand the criticisms. Yeah.
I wish they just left that out, but it's interesting when you go back. I was not even remembering that James Gunn did Brightburn until I went back and was kind of reading about it and all that stuff. I was like, I forgot that he did it. And it's an interesting tie-in between those two, that little part of.
And until a few minutes ago, I thought he wrote it. So.
Yeah. But yeah, when the kid starts to change, it starts with like his classmate Caitlin. He's attracted to her. He's kind of stalking her.
Yeah.
And then like she calls him disgusting, and they do like a thing
creep.
Where
Creep.
they're supposed to catch him in like a trust fall, and she just lets him fall. So he gets up and just smashes her hand.
Well, the teacher tells her to like help him up.
Yeah.
And she offers her hand, and he just.
And then
that was a horrible. It's still hard to watch. I would show someone that one scene and be like, if you can watch this one scene, you're fine for the rest of the film.
I don't know, because it gets worse.
Well, if you can take that, you can take the other stuff.
I think if you can get through the next part, you can get through the rest of it. Where the mom, complains on the kid, obviously because he crushed their daughter's hand.
Yeah. And
then he goes and retaliates against her. She's in the restaurant there at nighttime, and that's the whole scene with the glass in the eyeball. That's a hard one for me to watch, and I just hate eyes, man.
Okay.
I've seen way too many horror movies when I was young where people did stuff to eyes, and for that reason, I cannot wear contacts. I warn people when I go to eye exams, is like, I do not like things near my eye. And I was like, I'll try my best to keep my eye open. I was like, when you get near it, my eye's going to be doing this because I cannot stand it. I was like, I can't control that. I'm sorry. Don't ever go as far as like, if you put me down, I swear I'll tear this office apart. But it's usually in the back of my mind. But
how are you at the eye doctor?
That's what I'm talking about, like at the eye doctor and all that stuff. I cannot stand when they get in there close to it.
Yeah.
I can't keep my eye open.
Wow, that's great.
They're like, we're going to blow air in there. I'm like, good luck. This is going to be closed about 9 out of 10. You got a 1 in 10 shot to get that little air puff in there. It's like, if you want to stand there and hold it like that.
So no eye drops for you?
Nah. No, if I put eye drops on, they just land on my eyelids.
What you do is you put it in this little, like, I don't know what it's called, like the little crook where your nose and your eye meets.
And it just lean.
And then you just kind of like lean over it. Yeah.
But he goes and takes retribution on the mom, and you start to find out that he's like just becoming increasingly violent. His aunt is a guidance counselor and tries to kind of befriend him and talks to him, so he starts stalking her. And then
he's a creepy little kid too.
There's nothing good about this kid.
No.
And the next scene is the thing. It's like, if you made it through the eyeball, you're probably making it through this next one, where he gets the uncle in the truck, and I don't know if you remember, like the uncle like falls onto this. They pick the truck up and drop it, and he comes down, and
that's right.
His mouth hits the steering wheel, and it like splits his mouth open, and he's like laying there with like his jaw broken off on the bottom, just like blah blah blah. And you're like, oh my lord!
It's a brutal film.
That's why I liked it as a horror movie.
Yeah,
and I like that side of it. It's like, if we're gonna take a superhero and make it into a bad guy, maybe let's
do it.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
and that's what they did. And that's why I thought it was a good movie. The dad takes him out in the woods and tries to shoot him. And he turns around and just burns his dad because he's got like Superman vision.
Laser eyes.
And then I think they're at the end, like the mom's trying to sort of figure out what's going on. All the stuff's just happening super fast for the uncle, and the police show up, and he mauls the police officers that show up. The mom goes out to the barn, like where the spaceship is, and you find the girl, the mom of the girl that he broke the hand, is out there like pinned up like a science experiment. Like, he's got her like cut open, and she's all pinned up against the wall, got her guts and stuff.
Really showing what kind of psychopath he really is.
Yeah.
Because
he had like pictures of
there's
guts and stuff under his bed. They thought maybe he was hiding like nudie pictures, and they pull it out, and it's like, no, it's pictures of
dead animals and stuff.
Dead animals and guts. And
that's one of the things they do a really good job, because you could almost empathize with the idea that this kid gaining these powers can go out of control, and his emotions can make him do things and hurt people. You could almost get as far as understanding that, but when he's like dissecting people and stuff like that, it's like, no, this kid is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And like I said, the alien spaceship is just repeating this message, and like I said, I forget at what point in the movie they decode it for you, but it's just saying, take the world, take the world, take the world, and you're like, wow, okay. He's completely opposite of Superman. He's not there to find refuge or anything. He was sent there to grow, develop, and destroy. And
Now I'm wondering, because we talked about recently about how some films like continue on in like comic book form, this would be a really good contender for that.
well, they at the very end of this movie, spoilers if you haven't seen this thing, cut it off right now.
Bye.
Flies his mom up into the sky and just drops her. And she's the one that's always been the one that's been able to connect with him and stuff. And he's just like, nah, we'll fly you up here and just let you fall to your death. And while he's there, there's like a commercial airline that comes flying. And that's like the next scene is like, we're here on live at the crash scene in Kansas. And it's like, he just smashed, he saw the plane.
Just
and
'cause.
he just smashed it because
Yeah.
it was there. And then they go to credits, and you get this kind of conspiracy Alex Jones type guy who's got like a podcast or something, and he's talking about how there's this weird fish man that like showed up. He mentions like 2 or 3 other people. It was like some guy. Does he say something about a guy pretending to be a bat or something?
I think he does, yeah.
I think he does. I know he references Aquaman.
Yeah.
But it's like a merman in the ocean who's just causing terror and havoc. And like there's basically all of the Justice League are starting to appear, but they're all bad. And like I said, that would have been setting up a great extra movie or extra couple of movies, but it never happened. I guess if it maybe hadn't been for Marvel, maybe something like that could have happened. But he got pulled into bigger money, bigger projects, and creativity dies when that
Well,
happens.
I mean, it looks like James Gunn was like the producer of it. Like he probably just like made sure it got made. You
Yeah.
know, like he had the money, he had the cachet in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I mean, what stops his brothers from doing something?
Yeah, I mean,
it says
at this point it'd probably be like undercutting him
There's-
because
Yeah.
it probably would be stealing thunder from him at this point. I have no idea what kind of relationship they have. That would be my first instinct on why they haven't done it. Would be that, or maybe did they get pulled into Marvel stuff to help him produce all the other stuff, like all the Guardians movies and stuff. Maybe they got bought too. I don't know.
Okay, this was just from a couple months ago. It says in March 2024, Gunn took to Threads to reveal that Brightburn 2 is not happening. He acknowledged that there were earlier talks about a sequel, but now has come to halt due to the rights issues. I mean, we talked about it early on, but the rights are all effed up. I only own half, he said. So it's unlikely that will ever happen, he said. He wrote anyway.
I wonder if that other half is his brothers or the other guy.
Let's ask, who owns Brightburn?
Maybe somebody just needs to buy his half.
Owned by a collaboration of production companies. The H Collective along with Troll Court Entertainment and Sony Pictures.
Well, that sounds like a horrible thing to do to film.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's how films get made sometimes, is they have to sign over part of the rights so that they can get the money to make the film at all.
Yeah, then you've got a board of people that have to approve things at that point, and at that point, creativity is gone.
Well, have I told you about the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash sequel that didn't happen? Or Freddy versus Jason sequel that was Freddy, Jason, Ash.
We've talked about it. I don't
Well,
remember it in detail enough to.
Essentially, from what I understand, there was an issue with Sam Raimi, who owns Ash, not liking the idea of pitting him against Freddy and Jason because he didn't want Ash to ever be in a losing situation.
Gotcha.
Which, okay, sure.
Yeah.
But what's really
Who
interesting...
who says he has to lose?
Right.
He fights demons all the time and like just fights his way through because he's got a chainsaw and a boomstick.
Well, what's interesting is, again, from what I understand, is they did make a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic book, and that comic book was based off of the film treatment, like what they wanted to do in the film.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
The premise was Freddy wanted to manifest himself in the real world, and in order to do that, he needed the Necronomicon, and so he sends Jason to go get the Necronomicon. It was a great little premise.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, but anyway, but that kind of, if it's a rights issue, it's like in the comic world that the rights work differently.
Yeah.
I'd like a
If you
comic series.
see Brightburn on a service,
Watch
keep in
it.
mind it's very R-rated.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very violent.
Well, I mean, you've explained it, so
Yeah, it's you talked about if you can make it through the hand thing. Like I said, I think it kind of builds on the hand thing as it goes.
For some-
it just gets more
Yeah.
violent as you go, and you're like, wow, okay.
for some reason, for me, like the overt violence, like the jaw thing, like that doesn't bother me as much as the hand thing.
And
Like
gosh,
I feel like I could understand that pain with the hand, but I can't understand the pain with getting your jaw ripped off.
The guy that is the uncle is Matt Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's Badger in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
It's one of those two druggy guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I hardly ever see him in anything, but I love the dude. I always thought he was hilarious at Breaking Bad, and he was a cool character in this. You know, he was like a uncle. Didn't he show up at like the birthday party, and he gave the boy Brandon in Brightburn a shotgun, and then like his mom and dad were like,
What are you doing?
they're like, no. He's like, we're not doing that. And he was like, he's that age. It's when we got our shotgun, and they're obviously out in Kansas where they go hunting and stuff and all that. So it's part of the culture. It's not like he just showed up in the New York City and gave somebody a firearm, you know.
I thought so. He voices a character named Wedge in the Final Fantasy remake game.
Okay.
So he does voiceover work too. So
Oh, he'd be a great voiceover guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's-
Yeah, very
he's got
unique.
a very
Yeah.
unique voice. I think the mom is Elizabeth Banks.
Mhm.
She's another one that always have. I think what was funny is that I watched Brightburn here a month ago-ish,
Mhm.
month and a half. And we got into hotels where you're back on cable and just flipping, trying to find something to watch. What about the game show channel?
Mhm. Yeah, she's a game show host now.
She was hosting Pressure Luck, the Whammy show.
Yep.
And I was
No
like-
whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
I was just watching it because I used to watch the No Whammy show when I was a kid, and I was like, "Who is this lady?" It's like she seems so familiar, and I was like, "That's Elizabeth Banks." Like, is that a real fall from grace, or is that just like doing something while you got some downtime? Or
No, I think in today's landscape of Hollywood, that's something you do just get some extra cash.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a fall from grace. It's just understood.
I'd host it.
I think Drew Carey and Wayne Brady. I think when they started doing it, it was like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, why not?
those guys are cool.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Man, I wish they'd do something else with Brightburn, but I always say sometimes things are special because they're rare. So
Yeah.
maybe the fact that we didn't get any more Brightburn was good because we can enjoy this. And
Well, I mean, what do you do now? This was 2019,
Yeah.
so Jackson Dunn, the kid that
it's
played
still within the 10 years.
he's 22 years old now.
Yeah.
So, how do you write a story where, if he was there to destroy the world, that this went on for 7 years or however? Because he's supposed to be 12 in this.
Yeah,
And-
it would be a story that takes place in a conquered world, and it would be
Yeah.
about normal humans trying to take him down.
I was just thinking about.
It would have to be.
You remember the Days of Future Past stuff in the
Yep.
X-Men cartoon?
Yeah.
Where like Bishop was coming back and taking him to the future, and it was like Storm and Wolverine were together, and you know she had like a mohawk, and they're all different because they were basically the only people left that the Sentinels and stuff hadn't killed, and
Yeah.
that would be an interesting place to go with that. Is just don't try to change anything, just keep it in the time frame and let it be, you know, New York, LA, San Francisco, London, they're all gone, but these superheroes are just hunting the people that are left. That'd be an awesome film.
Yeah.
You have a group of people that have had time to figure out what this alien was and trying to find weaknesses, and I mean, good gosh, I've written half the movie for you in 10 seconds.
Yeah, we would have probably gotten it if it wasn't for whatever those rights issues were.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I love creative stuff like this, and it just seems like whenever that kind of stuff pops up, it just dies. And it's definitely something that's wrong with Hollywood, because the stuff that is not creative just lives on forever and ever.
We'll just make $1 billion with another Moana film.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go back and see what else we can put a live action version of. CG slop. The it still bothers me. They still call those things live action. It's not
Yeah.
live action. It's still animated.
And I also wish they would just make actual CG films. I think that's a medium that was just completely underutilized in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and coming up is just going to be AI films. So
If you wanted to pick this up as an animated thing.
yeah,
You could adjust it to where it would be the following year, because you wouldn't have to worry about the actors and actresses. You could just
The
animate
ages,
them.
yeah.
But yeah, Brightburn's a fun one. Like I said, those three, The Incredibles, Kick-Ass, Brightburn, scratched those down on a piece of paper when we first talked about it, and thought about other things, and just came right back to them because they were. I think The Watchmen was the only other one I had kind of in that mix, and I think it's a little bit too big of a
too mainstream.
too mainstream, too big of a property to. I mean, The Incredibles was too, but I mean,
Well, The Incredibles wasn't based on anything,
yeah,
and that's
The Incredibles has to fit in there somewhere because it's just as an original creation, it's an incredible movie.
aside from
That's the name.
so Kick-Ass and Spawn, out of these six, those were the only two that were actually based on comics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we could have almost done superhero films not based on comics. I thought about putting Hancock in this.
There was something else that I saw the other day that I was like, man, I forgot that was even basically like superheroes, but it was just a couple days ago, and then obviously it came in one side of my old brain and died out the other side of it.
Fizzled out.
Yep.
All right, so I guess what we got to do now is we got to choose our topic for next time.
Oh yeah. And we are not doing fortune cookies anymore.
We're not, because the fortune cookies just get really, really gross and old and rubbery.
Or actually, this is what the fortune cookies have just turned into.
I got a bunch of, which is I still think thematically appropriate, little Gachapon type balls.
Which are probably about the same consistency as the fortune cookies were.
At this point, yes.
So-
We so last time I chose, so this time you get to choose.
We have a variety of things on there, from films that we have seen to some series that one of us
One or either of us. One
have
of us
not
haven't.
seen. So if we draw one of those, one of
We got
us
some
might
watching.
have some homework to do.
And we only got like 2 weeks, so let's see. You just squeeze it right in the middle.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna try.
I have not.
Yeah, I had to play around with these. There you go.
And that is Evangelion.
Okay, we have some homework
Yeah.
because this is what we talked about this during during our break, and we're gonna primarily talk about the rebuilds.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I know I don't have time to do a series.
No, Lord no.
But
And I've been wanting to watch it. I was thinking I was going to take my time throughout the year and watch the rebuilds, every couple of months, but I guess not.
what is this, the 15th?
We got 2 weeks.
Well, I can take mine with me. I'm getting ready to go out of town
There you go.
again. I can take mine with me and watch them on a.
Well,
I
the
think I've
third's
got a
on
little-
Amazon Prime, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next time our main topic is going to be Evangelion, and we'll figure out something for the coffee service that's related.
Well, yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about giant robots, so
Easy enough.
that's my.
I mean, that's
Lim-
a whole genre by itself. yeah.
Limiting me in that category might be the hard thing. 'Cause that's one of my favorite categories. So
Well, if we're going to talk about, we can do our favorite giant robots. That could be fun.
yeah,
Because there's a couple of video game robots I'll bring in.
you're gonna really stress me to have to narrow down probably favorite robot iterations. I think I can't have that conversation without having a little bit of Godzilla inclusion.
Right. We have to.
So-
Okay, we'll talk about it, but we have to figure out what do we mean by robot? Like, does a person have to be in it? Does it have to be like person shape? You know what I'm saying?
Or does it have to be something without a person in it? If it's Evangelion, they've got
Well,
people in them.
yeah, they're in the plugs. We'll talk about it. All right.
These are nerd problems.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Okay, well, let's see. We got to figure out. Goodness, we'll look at the calendar, but for you and me, we're gonna have to get together in the next 2 weeks to film at least the first episode
Yeah.
for next month. But that's our problem, not yours.
we'll get it done.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, Joel. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Later. Bye.